Hi, Anya here. Welcome aboard. Today we're going to talk about pros and cons about living in Utah, but there are so many videos out there and I want to share with you the insights that I've learned when I relocated, and I've relocated so many times. First, I relocated from St. Petersburg, Russia to London, England, obviously. Then I relocated to Utah. Then I relocated to California. And finally, I'm back to Utah. Why? Because I realized that chasing nickel and dime and paying excessive mortgage is a little bit too much. And the lifestyle and the quality of life and the cost of living is much more affordable than in a lot of places. So from this perspective, we'll dive into pros and cons. So buckle up. Welcome aboard. And a quick disclaimer, I didn't want to overwhelm you with a lot of details, right? So I decided to separate this video into two parts. In this one, we'll talk about lifestyle, and in the other one, we'll talk about more specifically about economic factors and even more so cost of living, okay? Number one, Utah is an outdoors paradise. Don't judge me, I might be biased, but it's really true. And when we live an active lifestyle, we're active, we're hiking, biking, doing marathons, we're doing skiing, we're doing snowmobiling, not quite as a marathon, but still a good activity, outdoors activities, and boating and fishing. We have rivers, we have lakes. Well, when you have access to all of that, you're actively engaging in life, your quality of life goes much, much, much higher. And when we're active, we'll live longer. Important, isn't it? Utah is located in the middle of the mountain states, right? So we're surrounded by mountains, left, right, back. So mountains are in the backyard. Very, very often, you'll end up having a house where the mountain trail goes like literally within a couple of minutes from where your house is located. So it's amazing. And because we do have 4 seasons, right? So you can enjoy it during summer as hiking, because all those ski lifts that are so amazing during winter, of course, they can take mountain bikers to the top of the mountain, and then you're gonna run down, zip down, which is wonderful, which is a wonderful experience, of course, right? And here's a quick secret. If you want to assimilate into the outdoors activities as fast as you can with the right people, go to meetup.com, because Utah has an amazing amount of really a lot of meetups that are focusing on canyoneering, on rock climbing, on mountain biking, and in all forms and shapes. They meet at different times, at different days. So you're gonna get assimilated into the collective really easily and really quickly. A lot of national parks. And because I want you to really take your time engaging and exploring and investigating all those possibilities within Utah outdoors, I wrote a very in-depth blog, and you can go into all the parks with all the information, with the best trails. You can find it on my blog, and you don't have to do a lot of homework on your own. Number 2, the greatest snow on earth. Hear me out. We have a dry climate, right? Like compared to Colorado, for example. And when we have precipitation with the dry climate, within the dry climate, we create this powder, this ski powder, that is like champagne. That's really the word that's been very descriptive, and a lot of skiers are using it because you cannot find it anywhere else. And that's why we coined the phrase, the greatest snow on earth, because that's true. Don't take my word for it. Come on over and check it out for yourself. And another point also associated with Utah skiing, it's the proximity to the Salt Lake International Airport. Salt Lake International Airport is a story in itself. It's so gorgeous. It's breathtaking. I already stated that, once I first landed in Salt Lake traveling from San Jose in a time when they just opened it up, whoa, I thought I was literally in Paris. Really worth looking into. However, Paris aside, let's talk about the proximity. Within an hour distance from the airport, you have so many resorts. I would probably think it's about 11. And again, they're very closely located to the Salt Lake City International Airport. However, there are resorts further north around Logan, And that's close to the Bear Lake, which is, by the way, talking about outdoors and summer outdoors. We're on the border with Wyoming over there, sharing actually Bear Lake half and half. And this is an amazing reservoir of water where the best of the water skiing is done. Ask me how I know. Really, really beautiful, pristine water, gorgeous. A lot of second homes are located for families who want to spend more summertime in this area. And another one is Park City got immersed with the canyons, and now it's one of the largest resorts in the United States. That's where a lot of snowboarders go. It is really a paradise for snowboarding, but then also skiing is absolutely welcome over there as well. And during summertime, lots and lots of summer concerts outdoors. You take the gondola up, beautiful, divine Utah outdoors at its best. And once we're on the subject of the outdoors in Utah and lifestyle, I have to mention that Deer Valley has an amazing music festival. It's one of the biggest Utah secrets, so don't share with a lot of people. It's already crowded, but it's one of the beautiful, most amazing experiences that you can have during summer. Sometimes you can have a concert in the church, in the Catholic church. The acoustics, unbelievable. Sometimes you have outdoors concert right there on the lawn. Utah Symphony, there are rock bands, you name it, jazz. It's just an amazingly popular place, whether you live in Salt Lake City or in Utah County or in Summit County or nearby. It's an amazing experience and a great, worthy to attend event during summer. Best places to live, right? So we're talking about the lifestyle. We're probably also considering the newest trend after the pandemic trend, the digital trend, that we can work from home. So a lot of people who are relocating, selling and buying houses, they are looking into a broader picture of where they can get the best bang for the buck, of course, and also maintain Utah famous outdoors lifestyle. And the truth is, you can't decide on the area in general and look at the outdoors and the mountains and the hikings and the biking and all the fishing possibilities and all of the above. And however, the specificity is actually, it's difficult to understand the taste or predict the taste. Therefore, again, in my blog, I'm going to give you a couple of more criteria and how to explore the suburb areas in a way that you could take advantage fully of what Utah has to offer to those who are relocating. That's a good thing. Another pro is actually Utah's historic commitment to education. You may or may not know, but when Mormon pioneers settled in, Mormon culture implies and edifies and emphasizes commitment to education. Well, hence the private university that we have here in Utah, Brigham Young University, that offers amazing education, especially in the accounting degrees that are valued by the top of the top accounting firms throughout the country and internationally. Some people say that we can consider Utah one big college town, right? Because even in Salt Lake, there are 10 colleges, that includes a few universities, and also 25 colleges within 50 miles. We're talking about 183,000 students in the close proximity between Salt Lake and Utah County. That's quite significant. And the degrees that are offered are actually very competitive, and they support beautifully the extension of the economy that we're experiencing here in Utah. Therefore, those two trends, the growth of the economic growth, the thriving economic growth in Utah that I will address in the other blog, and also the education supply and labor, qualified labor for that market. Oh, these two trends are unbelievable. And to cover a little bit more in depth Utah's commitment to education, I'm separating high school, middle school, and elementary school in a separate pro, because we have a lot of schools that offer amazing programs and rank really, really high. However, I want to disclose that not all schools in Utah are created equal, and therefore in-depth research is recommended. And in my blog, I give you the best of the best, like 5 top middle schools, 5 top high schools and 5 top elementary schools. And that will give you started. And again, interviews with teachers are recommended, with parents, with students themselves. I think it's really important to get a first-hand experience, but I will give you a head start. Next pro, I want to give you a little bit of the Utah infrastructure. Utah is extremely committed to transportation. Therefore, let's talk about Utah's commitment to transportation. At any given time where you're anywhere in the proximity of a bigger city, you will see construction on the freeway. Anywhere, because we're always expanding, improving, and making the freeway more and more accessible for more people. However, on the flip side, we'll know that the walkability studies and the lifestyle studies show the more lanes we're going to build, the more cars are going to fill up those lanes. But anyway, commitment is absolutely there. And the final pro about living in Utah is Utah is famous for friendly neighborhoods. Yes, it's part of the Mormon culture, but hear me out. Mormon culture is extremely family value oriented, family centric. And it's number one, it's just like two parts of the same, two sides of the same coin. And also its commitment to community service. So we live in the communities and we care about the neighbors. If something is going on, we go and check upon them. So it's a really family-friendly culture, community-friendly culture. So even though you might be scared, if you're not Mormon, you might be scared or concerned, like how you're going to feel here, because we do have the highest population of Mormon people living in Utah, right? You're going to find it's such not a big concern. In fact, you're going to fall in love with the friendliness, with the consideration that people will give you and your family, and attention, and cookies and soups and chicken soups and you name it. It's a great family culture, really friendly. All right, now we're going to talk about cons, right? Well, weather. We all have 4 seasons. However, the weather is different in the north and in the south. Of course, the concern in the south will be, if you're in St. George, for example, that you might have 120 degrees during summer. My hairdresser, for example, her parents live in St. George, but they actually have a cabin closer to Wyoming. That's where they spend winter. So, no surprise, St. George will have a lot of second homes. On the opposite extreme side, hot, cold. So if you're in Park City, you're going to have 10 degrees cooler. So I'm giving you a warning. You're going to end up having those hand warmers and foot warmers with you at any given time when you're skiing, because Park City is 10 degrees cooler. During summer, it's actually paradise. It's amazing. A lot of people will just go to Park City because it's such a close drive, from Salt Lake and Utah County. However, during winter, it's going to be 10 degrees cooler. So a lot of people from Minnesota who are relocating to Park City, they find themselves quite at home. Cause number 2, I want to talk about pivoting your nightlife. Well, this is a Mormon culture. It's a community of family-oriented culture, neighborhoods, when we go to bed really early. That's why if you're kind of like an owl and you don't wake up early and you like the nightlife, you're going to find not a lot of places open after 9 o'clock, right? However, I guarantee, I'm not very big of a night person. However, I guarantee I have some friends who are. They find opportunities, they find places, and again, meetups. Go to meetups. You're going to find people who do nightlife, who do all kinds of activities. You're going to find any interest that might be in the vicinity of your preferences right there on the meetup. So go there. You'll never be disappointed. You'll find things to do. At this point, I'm just going to cover one more cons, which is, I already mentioned transportation. I was a big fan of autonomous vehicles. I was a big fan. I did in-depth research, wrote a book about, the second book, about the flying cars and how the potential that it can give to our productivity in the communities. I had a vision of the communities who will own a flying car together and then will zip from St. George to Salt Lake, for the opera, or zip from St. George to Las Vegas, for a show. So and that, if you spread the cost, it's going to be quite, marvelous. So anyway, I personally would like to see a little bit more leading edge, out of the box thinking in transportation, but that's my personal thing. That's why I put it as the very last one. You may not like it, but I think why not? So I hope that's been helpful, and if you do find it helpful or enlightening or entertaining or interesting or thought-provoking, please subscribe, because we're going to have more videos here coming up soon. And most importantly, if you want to take the best advantage of the information that I've researched, I spent a week researching everything in depth. Go and check out both of my blogs on the economic factors and also on the lifestyle factors, because it will have a lot of useful links for whatever it's worth. Talk to you soon.